Can you even, like, take a single step? It sounds crazy, right?
Uh-huh.
But think about this. To get anywhere, you've got to cover half the distance first,
Right.
then half of what's left, then half of that, forever.
Yeah, it just keeps going. That's Zeno's dichotomy paradox. It's ancient Greek stuff.
Seriously mind-bending.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder if moving is even, possible.
It does. It's amazing how dividing things infinitely causes such a huge problem for something so basic, like walking across a room. Really makes you think about space.
Totally. Well, today we're actually going to look at a new angle on this super old puzzle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's this proposed solution from Kadir Kubashuk we want to explore.
Ah, Kubashuk. Okay.
So our mission basically is to get our heads around Kubashuk's idea
Yeah.
and maybe see what it means for how we understand motion.
Sounds good. Kubashuk, well, he goes right after Zeno's main point.
Which is?
Zeno says you can't cover an infinitely divisible distance with a finite number of steps.
Right, a classic paradox.
But Kubashuk flips it. He says, okay, what about the steps? Are they finite?
Oh, interesting. So Zeno's all about the distance being infinitely chopped up.
Exactly.
What's Kubashuk saying about the steps then?
He argues that, well, just like the distance, each step you take can also be seen as infinitely divisible.
Okay, like the movement itself has infinite parts.
Kind of. He lays it out with a few key points. First, he agrees with Zeno on let's call it misaphonin sensus balunabilirly. Distance is infinitely divisible. Check.
Got it. That's Zeno's starting point.
Then he adds ademladen sensus balunabilirly. Basically, every step is also infinitely divisible.
Okay. So both the path and the walking on the path can be broken down forever.
Precisely. Now, Zeno's claim Kubashuk labels it ME's DOK is if distance is infinitely divisible, M, then it cannot be covered, DLK.
That's the logical knot we need to untie.
Right. But Kubashuk offers his solution, A ease K. He says if the steps are also infinitely divisible, A, then the distance can be covered, K.
Wait, so if the problem has infinite layers and the action also has infinite layers,
Yeah.
they kind of match up. Is that the idea?
That's getting close to it. His really crucial point is what he calls M ease me sevi ademloren asdishli.
The identity of distance and steps.
Yeah, the idea that distance M and steps A share the same property of infinite divisibility. He thinks the paradox only pops up because we treat the distance as infinite, but kind of implicitly assume our steps are somehow fundamentally different, maybe finite chunks of action.
Huh. So Zeno's mistake, maybe, was only seeing the infinity on one side of the equation.
That's Kubashuk's argument, essentially, because both the thing being covered and the act of covering its steps share this quality of infinite divisibility.
The contradiction just dissolved.
That's the core idea.
Yeah.
Because they're logically similar structures in this specific way, this infinite divisibility, the apparent conflict disappears. It makes movement logically possible again.
Wow. Okay. So it's not about finite steps trying to cross an infinite divide. It's more like infinity meeting infinity.
You could say that. It's about recognizing that the movement itself shares that same infinite characteristic as the space it moves through.
That feels surprisingly straightforward, almost elegant for such an old, tricky problem.
It is quite neat, isn't it? And significant, potentially, because it offers a logical way past a philosophical hurdle that's been around for, 2,500 years?
Yeah, long time.
It just shows how really looking at the fundamental properties of both parts of an interaction, the space and our moving through it, can shift our perspective.
So wrapping it up, the big takeaway from Kubashuk is, see the shared infinite divisibility. Distance is infinitely divisible, sure, but so are the steps we take. And because they share that quality, the paradox that Zeno pointed out just isn't a paradox anymore. Motion becomes logically okay.
Exactly. By highlighting that shared property, he argues the contradiction falls apart. It's a really interesting way to approach it.
It really makes you think, though, doesn't it? About infinity, I mean.
How so?
Well, could this kind of thinking apply elsewhere? Like other situations that seem impossible or paradoxical? Could looking for shared properties, maybe shared infinities, between seemingly opposing things, could that unlock other puzzles? Definitely something for you, the listener, to mull over.